All right, welcome everyone. Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Delicious in Dungeon, episode 10. All right, double digits, and now we're on our way back to the mission to save Fallen from the dragon.
From the dragon to just crawl up the dragon's butt and pull her out.
And extricate with extreme prejudice.
That's right. And we might also have a special item of sorts that could be used to break said dragon's hide, because an adamant walk. Okay.
Well, not only that, like, it could be used to block its attacks.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It could be used to like wedge open its mouth.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I think we were thinking the same thing, right?
Contacts. You stick them on the eyes, and then it gets stuck in there, and it can't see, and then.
See, what I love about this is that when I think about a TTRPG party fighting a dragon, I'm like, well, just make sure you're not using damage type that is with its resistance, and you'll be fine. But then I'm thinking in my head, like, no, this is just
This
an
is
anime.
a proper dragon.
So this is a proper dragon.
Yeah.
It's not gonna, like, allow itself to get hit even that often.
And also,
it's just gonna fly around and just burn everything.
It's not also the kind of thing where it's like, hey, because we're in, like, say, an actual, like, TTRPG or video game or something where it's like the thing has to be of a size and scale where theoretically you could kill it. Like, no, this is not some 20-foot, that's the giant dragon because that's what we're dealing. No, it's a really big dragon.
It's a big fucking lizard, man.
Yeah, like,
it's a dinosaur. It's a flying dinosaur with fire breath.
Yeah.
Fuck. So, with these four, they're fucked. I don't know if there's any way.
Hey. The wizard that just got their magic restored.
That's true.
That,
her love knows no bounds.
Never underestimate a wizard that has their full spell, like, arsenal
list available.
Yeah.
I would say, personally, I want them to bait the dragon with food or do something food related. Because obviously, eventually we eat the dragon, but
they make some kind of bomb or poison or something that they put in the wok and use it as a capsule to get it to survive, to get inside.
But then it'll blow up Fallen.
Well, no, even if Fallen's in pieces, that's fine. They can put her back together. They just can't have her get fully digested,
Because
then she gets consumed and subsumed into the dragon, and then
I don't think Fallen can heal herself when she's in pieces,
No, that's why you then take the pieces back out of, or maybe stay in the dungeon, but, stitch them back together. Marcial does some
people at the entrance of the dungeon, please, come in here and heal her.
Hey, DM, so the mending spell says it has to be an object, but if the person's dead, it's not a creature
anymore. It's
right?
An object.
Like, it's an object, so I can that works, right?
The soul is still attached to this object, therefore it's a creature. Fuck, okay.
You said attached to this object. You did. Haha. Yeah, I don't know.
But, all right, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, back at the tower.
道間違ってない？
いや、この階段だ。ここを下れば地下5階。多くたちの集落の近くと地図には書いてある。
こ
こをどうやって下れと？
ありとあらゆるテンタクルスが生えてる。
丁寧な嫌がらせだ。
そう
な
集落につながる道だ。
手間と時間考えたら迂回した方が早い気がするけど。
マルシル、あんまり壁に近づくな。テンタクルスがたくさんいる場所はそれだけ空洞がある。
Okay.
仕掛けが多い場所ってことだ。仕掛けを圧迫して壊し、宝箱の上にも生えて罠とつるんで悪さ。この次に滅びてほしい魔物だ。
I hate them so much. Yeah.
さて、もう結構進んだかな。
At this point, just see if you can lower a rope down the middle.
で3階へ来たはず。一体どうやってこんな場所を？
なんかいる。気をつけろ。
My sword! Kensuke! Ah!
Okay, but don't waste your magic that you just got back.
I mean, that's a basic fire stuff.
Oh no!
That is such a dick DM thing to do.
Yeah, but that totally makes sense that these animals would realize that that's the best way to deal with it. Hey, it's just the axe. At least it's not the walk.
We need you, Chill Chuck. You still got... Oh, trigger the trap intentionally. Go, 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 go.
Okay. That's why you shouldn't have finger gloves.
さあそういう体質なんじゃないか
God damn it.
Still calling him a child, I love it. So it's gonna use it as a glove, yep, yep.
Fantastic. And then it finally comes free and he goes flying down the pit.
This frog's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Ah! No! He got Konosuba'd!
There it is! Boom!
オーガエルの皮を手に巻いたのか
Alright, so wrap yourselves entirely in the skin.
Yep.
And then lower yourselves down on the tentacles.
すごくいいアイデアだオーガエルを解体
Yep, yep.
皮を肉から剥がす
She sees where this is going. They're
Oh, wait,
already...
no!
皮を軽く乾かし
Oh my god.
採寸して
Yep, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yes. This is... I am so glad this anime exists.
Uh-huh.
I...
Yeah.
This anime makes me so happy.
Tentacles
Makes me
no
so
key.
fucking happy.
どっちやめさせるか迷ってるうちに完成した
まあ来てみてくれよ
Oh, yeah, yeah.
取りつつと言ってるでしょうが
I love that the inside of the outfit is red because, like,
Oh, yes, 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 yes.
マルシルがこれを着たら
Yes!
すごく可愛い
oh my god. She actually probably will.
Yep.
It's gonna be like Pajama Marcial.
The music.
And the beard. Oh my god.
いいね
This is peak. This is
Incredible.
absolutely peak.
すごいぞ全然痛くない
Amazing.
うまい
All right.
ケンスケ
よかった見て
Oh.
消化魔
Whoa.
もう5階だよ
We're here.
Alright, now fight the dragon like this.
God, that would be amazing, right?
Yeah.
当てて逃げ出した後やはり多くの話は本当らしいこの近くに
It's a nice big open area too, so
Sure.
it's probably capable of flying around here pretty conveniently.
あれ
Oh.
なんかオーガエルの血違うで固まって服にくっついちゃってるんだけど
十分に皮を舐めす時間がない
このまま竜と戦うの
Oh my
Yes!
god.
Yes! Yes! Wow.
Wait.
That's the painting magic again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
体の中がぐるぐるする
鉛を客室に寝かせてやれ島主のところへ報告に行く
Cool. External perspective.
Huh.
I love this.
取り立てて気になるところといえば柄が悪くなりましたな地下3階までの財宝はあらかた取り尽くされ無法者のたまり場が頻繁に問題を起こしている様子派兵か懸賞金をかけてもどこから入り込んだやら行動にでもつながっていたのかと棚に住み着きますドワーフまるでモグラだ
Wow.
Okay.
穴だらけエルフとドワーフが東西に分かれ
Whoa.
争った時代エルフが来るのを待ったという戦争が終わったで黄金の都を飲み込み迷宮と化し
Whoa.
迷宮が未だに拡大しらの生き残りのせいだと聞くぞ今回模写した魔法陣でエルフ言語 筆跡からも同一人物と思われる。加えた痕跡は
Oh.
一切
Oh,
Yeah.
could this be the elf from inside the...
あるし、トーランの魔術師の書いたものであることは間違いないでしょう。
そいつはエルフなのか。
判断はできませんが、トールマンやドワーフには扱いの術かと。
実は先日西のエルフたちから文が届いた。我々の遺産である。
Whoa.
返上しろと。
Interesting.
から奪った土地をもあちらではないか。
Whoa, interesting.
Okay.
の王より賜った土地だ。それはできまい。
島ごと奪われますぞ。
まだまだ迷宮には莫大な財宝が眠って。
奴らの目的は財宝ではありません。不死の術です。
Wow, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
する魔術は今もな
Yeah. I
Okay.
like that they're emphasizing
Yeah.
this.
その価値は黄金など目ではあり
Cool.
ません。エルフよりも先に書いて
手の魔法陣を模写して研究しろと。
良いですか。必ず設計書がある。それを手に
I
入
love
れ
it.
なさい。永久でも何でもくれてやるがよろしい。書をこちらが所有していると気づけば対等に、いや、あなたにひざまずいて話をする気になるはずです。
Damn. Okay.
どこにその
Somewhere in the dungeon, yeah.
それはもちろん迷宮の主が所有しているでしょう。
地道に探索者の支援をしろと。
その通り。
Okay.
魔物の討伐や迷宮からの出土品を
Yeah.
叩かず、
多くに懸賞金をかけよう。エルフへの返事は。
時間を稼ぐお手伝いをしましょう。ライオスとか言ったか。だが、彼らはどこまで進むのだろう。
I love the faces in his
Yeah.
mouth, like the way he perceives
Just
them.
absolute insanity.
荷物はそこ。ダンスじいちゃんからお金。また頼みたいって。
あ、
お家があるの？それとも宿泊？
迷宮の方へ。
Oh.
なぜ？
近くの寺院に用事があ
Oh,
るんだ。
gotcha, gotcha. I thought she was gonna go follow
Okay.
them.
Yeah.
用事。蘇生所。
Oh.
ママリか。ライオスのところ抜けたって本当か？紛失物、人探し。
人、髪は薄茶。長さは肩の上くらい。10代から40。
そりゃライオスの妹の方か？20代前後ってところだろ、あの子なら。
多人種の年なんか。
Yeah, it's hard, you know.
その条件の死体は届いてないな。
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Right, so she is still in the dungeon.
Yep.
The dungeon.
黄金城を抜けると
All right. The
魔
next
術によ
stage.
って膨れ歪んだ街並みは賑やかであった時代の面影を残しており、ささやく声が聞こえたような
Creepy.
そんな妙な気分に襲われるのだ。
Just a ghost city, you know.
Yeah.
ずいぶん慌てて出てったらしい。食料庫が開きっぱなしだ。
There's still food left too.
小麦粉やお酒なんかは無事みたい。
お
Oh,
Bread.
yes.
多くが戻ったら怒るぜ。
Oh shit.
Fuck.
Oh shit.
I
ワ
think-
ーグだ。ドドラゴンの火の息にやられたんだ。
Gotcha.
ここをあいつが通った。
Still smoking, yeah.
前に言ってたよね。ユウはたまにしか活動せずほとんど寝てるって。この状態を見る限り、あれからずっと動き続けてて、多
Uh-huh.
分今もその辺をうろついてる。今の私たちで本当に倒せるかな？浄化されてたら。
落ち着いて、ひとまず作戦を練ろ
Yep.
そうは言ってもさ、3人で戦わなきゃいけないのかな。
3人
何度も言うけど、俺を戦力として期待するなよ。ここまで来るのを手伝うだけだ。
う。分かってるよ。
My job description was just for that.
竜を倒していた。
と、竜の種類にもよるが、ファリンが炎や怪我を防ぐ魔法を唱え、
Ah.
シュローで足止め、マルシルが爆発魔法で弱らせ、
Okay.
隙を見て、
Yeah, Shuro does the
Yeah,
actual
yeah.
kill.
そんな流れだったかな。
A lot of people that we don't have, and those dragons looked a lot smaller.
やれることを考えなくては。竜には魔法も武器も効きにくい。首の下、唯一致命傷を与えられる。
Damn, that's it.
Okay.
So the classic underbelly part is not vulnerable.
Yeah.
どの程度の大きさなんだ。
ほら、あそこ。あの崩れた廊下、ちょうどあのぐらいだよ。
まさに竜が頭をぶつけた後じゃないか。
No, no, no. That's
そうか。
its
で
back.
かいな。あの高さを切りつける。
ちょっと現場まで行ってみるか。ここから竜の首に飛び移るというのは、
無理無理。この高さから落ちれば無傷では済まないし、火の息は防げない。戦士の斧は歯が立たないってことだけど、 ライオスの剣は通用するの？足止めの時間も必要だし。
Yeah, I'll be casting for 30 seconds or something.
それがライオスと戦士の2人にできる？
なんとかして
どうやって？
建物を爆破するのはどうだろう。ここ多いだろう。
Oh.
建物の
Alright.
間に
And that traps the dragon?
Yeah, it brings it down.
竜が真下を通る瞬間に爆破して
Yeah.
その瓦礫で動きを封じれば
I kind of like it, actually.
Yeah.
竜から逃げつつおびき寄せることならできる。
Yeah,
レッ
I
ドド
like
ラ
it.
ゴンにこの城下町の道は狭い。もっと体力を消費させられる。
なるほど。
Okay.
それなら
Yeah, big creature would get tired a lot faster than small
Yeah,
ones.
Chilchuck could be an amazing, like, bait, target.
して眠ってないんだろう。
What if there was an even bigger monster that it was trying to get away from?
嫌うはずの狭い場所を必要にうろついている発情期かな。
I like that he's asking these questions.
戦士の鍋がすごい金属だってナマリが言ってなかったか？なんだっけ、竜のなんとかを砕くとかいう。
鍛冶屋の憧れだとかなんとか。
竜の何かを防ぐと来たら火の息だろう。
I mean, it's gonna be a lot of fire, though. Like,
Yeah.
ナマリに見てもら
He's like, hey, don't try to take that from me.
That defensive look from Senshi was amazing.
いつの間にかいなくなりやがった。
パンを作っ
I was making bread.
たからお仕事になるのだ
We need to be well fed.
ごしらえは何よりも重要だ食料庫の
And cheese and
Wine, cheese, and
bread.
bread. Holy shit.
竜に勝ったらね。
卵はないがこれだけあればあれができる
Make that
パン
dish.
をおろし金で細かくし
Meatballs?
の肉に塩コショウで
Wait,
下
oh,
味をつけ小麦粉に浸して
Yeah.
Oh.
パン粉をま
Oh.
It's Panko, yep.
Oh
I
my
literally just made this
God.
last night.
Oh, yeah?
But with chicken, yeah.
調味料を煮詰めソースを作り
A lemon parm panko,
Oh, I have
fried chicken.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to make chicken parm for a while now.
So good.
いただきます。
サクサクだ。どうしたマルシル。
魔物食も時期終わるのだと思うと考え
まだレッドドラゴンがあるぞ
You think we're not gonna eat the red dragon?
Exactly.
みんなに言っておきたい。
Ah,
俺一人ではここまで来れなかった。
he's getting serious, yeah.
本当にありがとう。見
Oh,
ず知らずの俺たち
looks
の
like
親
he's
切
smiling. He's
Yeah.
enjoying his food.
には
Yeah.
腹だけではなく、精神的にも救われた。君がいなければ遠回りを重ね何日も遅れただろう。頼もしかった。慣れない旅で苦労をかけてすまなかった。一緒に来ると言ってくれた時はとても嬉しかった。本当にありがとう。
間が悪い。
ごめん。
Oh,
なんか
shit. No way. No.
It smells the bread.
No way.
Oh, fuck.
改めて見るとでっかいな。
この4人でここまで来たんだ。
I mean,
マルシルは例の位置に。俺たちは
Alright.
おびき寄せる。よし。
all right, buffs are up. Holy shit!
Okay.
Next episode is the dragon.
Let's do
I
this!
can't believe it.
Yeah!
Like, I'm kind of scared. I feel like they have to lose, like, or they're gonna spend like every single thing they have, and it's not gonna be like a quick fight, like it's
Yeah.
gonna be like a
Yeah,
really long like ordeal.
Okay, what if they got to a point where they're like, all right, we are actually going to outlast the dragon because it
I see
takes longer to
potential.
recuperate than we do.
Yeah, they'll
And
just
so
classic ancient human style of just we will follow you.
Yeah, and so we're
Good
going
luck sleeping. Poke you up the butt and then run.
we're going to find a way where we can rest. Senshi will make us really good food, and then we'll do it again the next day. You
Yeah.
know? And just wear that fucker down until it's just like, I give up, kill me.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. So that part in the ED was the dragon that they showed them fighting
Probably, yeah.
in the flashback. Cool.
And I really do love in that flashback that, like, the dragon was considerably smaller. like,
Considerably smaller, yes.
like
at
that's
least
like a
30%
large
smaller.
size dragon versus a, Hey.
Yeah, it was the way Shuro's, like, body looked next to the head as he was stabbing it.
Right, like the head was like the size of his torso. You know?
Exactly, right.
This
Oh my
episode was
God.
incredible.
This episode
We
is
got
probably
so
my
many
favorite
different things.
episode thus far.
Yeah, it
Oh
was
my
fantastic.
God.
So, like, if we were to,
Oh.
before even going into the details, the broad strokes,
Yeah.
what we got.
Yeah.
We got fantastic world building
World
and perspective that
building.
went beyond just the party, which I adore. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
And also hints at other things with like the fact that the return spell was like stepping through a painting and stuff, and we have the whole thing with the painting, and then it's like,
Yep.
oh, the mad mage is probably an elf, you know, and
Yep,
like,
yep. Yep.
But then on top of that, we get the hilarious bit with the frogs that are just like, no, we've dealt with people like you before. We grab your weapons.
Grab your weapon, yeah,
And just-
like, if you ever had that moment where you, as a DM or a player, have the monsters do something that's kind of smart, and it's just like, fuck, they can do that.
Right, because they're animals, but they're smart enough to figure that out. And at the end of the day, there is nothing tougher than just the basic rules of physics, right? You know,
I disarm you.
well, and gravity. You know,
Gravity, yeah.
oh, hey, that's now really far away. You know, right? Like, you know, how do you get across a river with full plate? You know,
Right,
like
right.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So the idea that then they're like, well, shit.
Oh,
you know,
well, we're fucked.
yeah, and we
And then
had,
the way in which Chilchuck like actually like worked out here, like, okay, clearly they're in the environment that we're fighting here, so they don't feel the paralyzing stuff there because of whatever reason.
right.
So I'm going to then take the skin of the one that Senshi did kill with his axe. So hey, his axe is actually useful, but just not against a dragon.
Not against dragon skills.
But really useful here. Make some makeshift bandages while they're tussling, tug of war style with the frog.
Right.
He tries to like creep up on the other side of the frog to trigger the trap, and the frog just kind of goes, "What the fuck, dude?" Like
Yeah.
I think some of my favorite things about this anime, the monsters feel real. They feel
Yes.
like they actually fit in this world. They're not
Right.
just arbitrary fantasy monsters and stuff.
Oh,
So
yeah.
when the frog turned and looked at him, he was like, "You are bite-sized." And
Oh, yeah.
and
No,
just
it's like-
immediately the whole thing went from shit, no.
Yes. Well, and also it's like it's taking the delightful beginning, Konosuba joke and
Yes.
doing it in a serious fashion.
Right.
They are actually in a tough spot here. They are on a timetable.
They both, the main two, have lost their weapons.
Right.
Senshi is tussling with the third.
And like this is actually bad, and this is all so that we can fight a dragon quickly, soon, and all that stuff, right? And also the idea that they established the tentacles in the previous episode
Yes.
and like the paralyzing aspects of them, so that then they could have this
Follow it up
puzzle
here.
here. Love that.
Love that.
Love that. It also just adds to the feeling of the dungeon being an ecosystem, because just because you deal with one thing one time doesn't mean you won't have to deal with it again because
Right,
you're in the
right.
same area, right?
Yep.
But then you figure out how to deal with it. Great. It's a creative solution to a problem that, while serious, we know it's not the big problem, right? And then, but as a result of that, we get what we expect from this show of
A cooking montage.
and some delightful comedy.
Yes.
Mostly centered around Marcille being in a position that she doesn't enjoy, right?
Right.
And so, you skin the frogs, and Laos, he makes
You gut them entirely, and
Right.
you're like, all right, we got to make some skin suits.
Yep,
Which
yep.
is such a fucking louse thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you think about it from the practical, it's genius. It's
Yep.
classic Laos, it's genius.
Right.
If you think about it from the two other levels of like, we just skinned monsters and we're wearing their skin suits.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah.
That's disturbing.
Right.
Two, the other aspect of it just being fucking gross, of the like, oh, there's blood on the inside there,
Right.
and when they wear it, it congeals to their clothes.
Because of course they weren't able to have it fully dry.
Or
They're
clean,
in
yeah.
a time crunch.
Yeah.
So and then just the shot of all of them in the different ways. Like Chilchuck looks like a little like
Matryoshka doll.
Yeah, or like a little hot dog with like the sausage tied, bit at the end.
Yeah.
And then like Marcille is like the sort of the panda, the bear sort of outfit, right? And then Laos is just the full bear outfit with the serious look on his face, which I absolutely adore.
Fucking astronaut Senshi here with the beard bulging out of
Like-
the march,
like-
it's his boob bust. Is
Right. It's just
incapable.
those buttons are like not even buttons. They they had to stretch it and then just tie it, and they're like it's straining.
God.
And the fact that just like with his helmet, which the previous episode with having Laos take the helmet made me start to realize how sort of comical the helmet is with how it fits on his head, because it like just gets past his mustache. like it doesn't go all the way down on his head, because one, the beard's just too majestic, but like, yeah, so here it's just bushy mustache just hanging over the edge. Like,
I cannot tell you how much this show does the comedy bit, but also the boys jumping together and whisper. I think you look really cute
in that.
Like I
and it works. But she's not happy about it. Like, she knows what they're doing, but she's like,
there's something about this where my brain can't just completely remove the idea of the players playing these characters.
Yes.
And they're trying to improv and go along with it. But Laos's character is so much it's what my character would do. But they're all being such good sports about his specific shtick that even though Marcial will always be upset about the things going on, she will never completely poo-poo on the ideas.
Because if we're
still
to talk
the party
about,
has to stick together.
The party has to stick together.
We have to save Fallen.
If I were to describe like the types of players that they are, right? Laos, it's a lot more straightforward, right? It's very, very obvious, you know. And then Senshi is the one who's like, nope, I've got a quirky character idea and I'm just committing to it all the way. Yep. And then Chilchuk is hey, I'm the responsible one of the group. I'm gonna be the team player, make sure everybody has fun.
I'm the problem solver.
Right, I'm the problem solver. Yeah. But then Marcial is the person that doesn't actually care about the game. They care about the fact that they chose the race so that they could be a pretty wizard, right? And be like, yes, the aesthetic of this will be fantastic.
And also so I can be best friends with this amazing NPC.
Yeah, exactly, right?
That's part of my backstory and everything.
All of that stuff. And then the player that comes up with the practical plans, they're like, hey, here's this absolutely disgusting, horrendous thing that you will absolutely be picturing in your head because that's how you function as a person, right? And you just, like it's both Marcial hating this, because yes, that's who she is, and also the player hating this. They're like, no, that is gross.
If they were actually players and PCs and stuff. But God, I loved Laos just being like, yes, well, we didn't have enough time
to dry the skins after all. Like, that's the tragedy. Not that it's sticking to themselves, but it's we couldn't do it right. Like it was a shoddy, rushed bit of craftsmanship.
And then we off-screen them, getting them off so that we can then show the world-building stuff with the crew that was with Namari. So we learn about the elves and the dwarves, and that the land, this island essentially where the dungeon entrance that they've been using is, was basically ended up being a place that was collapsed, because of the dwarves and stuff. Okay, so while there's all this, conflict stuff in the background going on here, we have a very clear main goal by the powers that be, in that the enchantment cast on the dungeon is the most interesting aspect of it to them.
Which makes total sense, because if if you're taking those sort of video game mechanics and putting it into a real world, that would be the thing that everyone would freak out about, right?
Right.
And to make it not, completely change the way that all the characters think and all that stuff. Yes, you can die, but this is where it's specifically different. And because it's specifically different like that, yes, everybody and their mother's cousin would be trying to get a piece of that pie.
But not everybody knows that it can't be gotten, and that's where they're using their knowledge advantage to the point here, is that this guy is collecting all these magic circles and places of power within the dungeon. He's got his own kind of mini quest here, which I love as hey, if you're doing a dungeon crawl of a mega dungeon, like a proper mega dungeon, you should have multiple groups going into it, because it's not going to be solved by the one adventuring party that spends 12 days in the dungeon or something. No, make it be a proper mega dungeon where it's actually got so many monsters that people regularly just leave because it's just too much to handle.
Well, and on top of that, given that the introduction of this character was done as a way to, where his role in the as far as the party is concerned, is he got them out of a bind, right?
Yeah.
A bind that was done in a serious way. It's not this is part of the comedy. Chilchuck has to deal with the mimic
was
now.
Probably the most serious conflict.
Yeah. It was done very seriously, and oh shit, Marcel doesn't have magic right now, and all that stuff, right? So then, because it's a serious help.
Yeah.
We then also get serious, the serious tone basically continuing with this character. It's not just and then you never see them again because they were just here to serve that purpose, and then that's it.
Which
right?
would work.
Yeah, but then
this show is wanting us to get way more invested in things than just the cooking and the comedy. Which I really like.
Well, and also more than just the action, right?
Yeah.
Since this show does the comedy and the cooking so well, if you're going to suddenly have serious action, right? That's not even like this is the point where we're rescuing Fallen, for instance, right?
Yeah.
Then ideally you want that to be something where we're able to get serious investment outside of that, because that's an ask of the audience to basically adjust to also having a new way of getting enjoyment from the show, right?
Right.
So having it carry on and have an ongoing thing for it, I love.
Yeah.
I love so much.
Yeah. And so all of this is stacking on top of itself and building a proper actual world here. The idea of the mad mage being the elf from within the paintings that Laos potentially bumped into and might have started their madness potentially for all we know. And then also that being connected potentially to the return spell, meaning that warping of any kind kind of needs, for whatever reason, some kind of bound of something like a painting.
Right.
So that's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun. We can just let that kind of sit there for a while as just a visual bit of storytelling.
Right. Both in the like on the one hand, it could be very innocuous of that magic exists in the dungeon, so it makes sense that magic would exist elsewhere as well. Sure. But the fact that the assumption with the going into the painting is that it's this whole other world, right? And that's why when they leave, the food that he ate doesn't do anything and he's hungry again or whatever, right? But because this was done here, where we know that this guy is not coming from a different world, right? So he was
like time traveling or something.
Sure, or just transporting great distance instantly or something like that.
He was thrown into a memory. Yeah.
Yeah, who knows, right?
Yeah.
That's something where now that almost can be a soft confirmation of sorts that whole painting that Laos went into is not a separate universe.
No.
That is actually part of the world, right? And the question is just where, what are the bounds of it, all of that stuff.
But also like why. There's some fun questions that can be asked there. But the central conflict for these characters is that the elves want the dungeon returned. Now, they might have any number of reasons for it, but they did a bunch of speculation as to why. But they basically said, okay, we won't comply with their requests immediately because we have our lordship of this area and stuff, and they're not just going to, invade necessarily, but
that OP.
I
was wondering why I'm like, that's a lot of elves there, and like Elven society, not a bunch of different adventurers that happen to be elves,
Right, exactly. Yeah. So we have some fun potential stuff there, and then the elves could also be ones that would know about maybe deeper secrets of the dungeon.
Yes.
So they don't necessarily just want the potential of having the immortality kind of enchantment there, but they could also want, other things as maybe the dungeon has been excavated in such a way that the elves have learned enough info that they're like, we actually really don't want
that is actually an asset. We shouldn't have given that up.
We shouldn't have given that up, right?
Yeah.
So that's fun. That's also just casually going on in the background, which I will say, if you want to do dramatic foreshadowing for something where the party, who has been on their own personal quest right now, has a larger quest that they're going to end up getting roped into and all,
and maybe they already have.
Maybe they already have without knowing it. This is one of my favorite ways to do this. It is a cliche, but it is really fun, where you have our bumblefuck protagonist group that is just like, I guess we're going to end up somehow saving the world at some point.
Well, and
how
also,
and why? Well, we are going to end up fighting this dragon. We'll rescue Fallen.
Yep.
We'll get it all to work out. And then it'll be the like, we bumped into another group that comes down here and they're like, okay, you guys actually killed the dragon. Well, we need you to help us with something here. The elves are coming.
Sure.
And we need to set things up in such a way that we'll be ready for them or something.
But also, there's another way in which, like, okay, so there's been like nods at the idea of like, Laos ends up being the champion that will clear the dungeon and all that stuff. You know, be the traditional hero of the story.
Yeah.
But this show is also one that bucks convention with regards to traditions as far as how fantasy stories have to go. And it's the cooking and all that stuff. But we literally have a mechanical reason as for why they could potentially be the ones to clear the dungeon.
Right.
Because they, as a result of this wonderful friend that they've made that might think about things a little differently.
Yeah. Just like Laos. Yeah.
Just like Laos, they're going to be able to actually get farther into the dungeon maybe because they will actually be able to sustain themselves in perpetuity while inside.
Right.
They won't have to go back out or be tied to some supply line or whatever, right?
Or, use some crazy gate return by painting spell.
Exactly, right? Like, they can just keep going, having a great time. And so you can have that bumbling adventuring party that's like, okay, we're lost, or we're like so deep in here that it's like, it's crazy. Everybody else is like, where are they? I don't know. They disappeared. They probably died somewhere, and maybe we'll find their bodies at some point, right?
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, they're actually like doing like a speed run, like an endurance speed run all the way to the end of the main plot of this world, right?
Sure. The other part that's kind of wild here is that while they set up the ways in which the dungeon is effectively like, much more important in the larger scheme of things than just treasure and monsters and mystery.
Sure.
But they're going to end up encountering like other people's groups and factions potentially in the bottom, or just on the way to the bottom, or even throughout just the dungeon as a whole. And not thinking about like in terms of bottom and top, but like there could come into a group of dwarves that are there, digging. You could bump into the original spot where the orcs are from, and the reason why they're coming up to the top levels. You could end up, finding out the reason why the dragon is actually here in a place that doesn't like is because of something else.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's
so
always a bigger fish.
All that thought of like, we have an ecosystem, we have a food chain,
Yep.
we have things that correlate and connect to each other, and it's all very intentionally thought out. All these little things could piece together a bigger picture, or paint a bigger picture, if you will, of something else, and they'll just stumble upon it, and that just sounds like fun.
This show has a delightful way that it basically, if you just want the comedy and the food, you can get that, and that is plenty, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, but also, if you want to delve into this really seriously, we're going to give you every opportunity to do that. And I love when we're going to give you fuel. And I love when stories manage that because sometimes I just want the cooking and the comedy, right? Sometimes I'm not necessarily up for getting fully seriously invested into something.
It could be any number of reasons as to why a story just won't hit you a certain way with certain aspects that it's trying to develop.
It's addressing basically multiple different audiences and making sure both of them are eating good, pun intended.
Right. And I would say also that's another thing. This is hitting us especially because of our predispositions. But I could see actually this kind of show, because it has that split focus, actually not attracting certain types of people into it. Like it's a very specific type of anime and story.
Yes.
But it's absolutely made for us.
It is delightful and delicious.
Yes, delightful and delicious, and let's keep going down this dungeon.
Yep.
I think this might also be their first really I don't know. They've had a lot more normal meals, it feels like.
Yeah,
recently.
like originally it felt a lot more like we're going to make the best of this monster that we have to eat, and hey, we're going to actually show that you could make something fairly tasty. Whereas like here, it's like, no, this looks
like chicken pork cutlets or something.
Like this is incredible. Like I want to make that now, myself. But you know, when a frog is as giant as that, I'm sure the meat probably tastes a good deal different.
This is actually the wild thing, is that what they made right there is not only easy, but I was mentioning the reaction, but I literally made this last night. I literally made fried chicken, panko, parm, lemon, little cuts and stuff like that. And it was so good. And it's also super easy. So in some ways, this show is inspiring me because I've been on this cooking side quest for the last like 3 or 4 years now, and it's just like reinforcing that in a way of like, yes, be like Senshi.
Right.
Just have a little smattering of ingredients that you're like, okay, you know, we add a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. You know, we can cook something here. This is great.
Yep.
And I think as far as a meta thing, I am fine letting this show cook in whatever direction it wants to go.
Yes.
Because I think that the introduction of the world building stuff going on outside could dramatically change the show in a way that I'm not fully ready for.
Sure.
But with the way that they've done things thus far, I am okay because they still kept the focus of these characters in what they're doing here.
Right.
We're not suddenly having basically what could have happened with Marcille ending up getting gated back up, and then we have to follow along her kind of thing over there as she maybe like, you know, tries to re-recruit Namari, tries to re-recruit Shuro, and then it's like, okay, then we have to bring everyone back together then fight the dragon. It's like, no, we're actually going to go fight the dragon next episode.
Exactly. The show is giving us all the progress in the original direction of the story that we could ask for, so that way it's still delivering on the promise to us, while at the same time setting up new stuff, but making it so that, hey, you might not be invested in that just yet. That's fine.
Yeah.
You're not going to get that stuff yet. We're not going to allow you to have that awesome stuff that we're cooking up because, quite frankly, it's not done yet.
It's not.
Right?
It's
and
not
so,
ready.
And so these
Internal
characters
temperature
are
isn't
in
fully
such
cooked.
a different location that, that stuff will be happening, but it's not relevant to them. And so, you know, we'll just let you know that that's coming.
It's stewing.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be able to smell it before you taste it.
But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. And also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.